Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. We've got a pretty fun video today. I'm using Titania against 4 skill defenders that you commonly see in Battlegrounds, and Titania works weirdly well for a lot of matchups that she doesn't seem like she should, especially with class disadvantage. This could end up being super useful if you face someone in Battlegrounds and they place these characters not knowing what you could do, so if you practice these ones, they are super valuable to use. So first up, we're going to go for Korg, the elite defender in Battlegrounds. He is just the most valuable defender in my opinion. He can just mess you up so much. So we start off by using our Haymaker to get medium attacks in without taking the rock field damage, and then now we're just going to focus on light attacks. I really don't care about his rock shield. We don't mind if it's up the entire fight, right? And you'll see why later. So the way that I deal with him is I bait heavies, and then Titania has enough light reach to get all the way to him. And then when our Haymaker's back, we're going to use that to get more medium attacks in or take hits during this unstoppable, which gets us to SB3 even quicker. So one thing is I really want to throw the SB3 while his rock field's up. You don't want it coming back halfway through because then he shrugs off all of your debuffs. So what we're going to do is we're going to wait for his rock field to come back, charge a heavy with Haymaker. This doubles our debuffs when we come out of it, and then that takes away his rock field, so it's not there anymore. We can go in and do 3 heavy attacks. Korg, clinging on to life and being annoying like he is, hangs on by throwing a special 1 and slows down our entire damage phase. We could have finished him 8-10 seconds earlier if not for that, but you see how quickly we did that and with how much health, even though he clung on like that at the end. Titania is ridiculously good and ridiculously versatile. I'm pretty sure if I did this in GC, I'd probably get reported for it. Next up, we're going to go for Korg's basically younger brother in the damage back department. He's the newest defender, he's the biggest next thing, and this is a rank 5 Attuma that we're going to be taking on. The idea is similar to Korg, where we want to use our Haymakers to avoid damage back, but in this one it's harder to finish with as much health as Korg. While you don't have Haymaker, you are going to take some chip damage. Don't expect to come out of this one with full health. What I like to do to start is bait out a heavy and then go into a light intercept chain where we do 3 lights, dash back, and go in again. I like, especially in this meta, I like to save my Haymaker around the time the unstoppable triggers so that we can take some hits during our Haymaker and build power without having to hit a Attuma. That saves us a few hits, which could be more Thorns damage and could, be the difference in a fight. The whole aim is to get to our special 3 like usual, and then we want to save our Haymaker, go into a heavy charge to double up our debuffs, and just take him down. So we have our Haymaker here, we go for a couple hits hoping that he's going to hit us. I don't have my Haymaker anywhere near, so I know that I'm going to waste either a lot of time or a lot of health waiting for it, so I think I can finish it off here, but ideally I would have Haymaker. So we go for 1 heavy, and to stop him being annoying like Korg, I go into a hit of the striker, and then we can go into a combo to finish him off. That can really help if the AI is trying to be annoying and throw specials or whatever, just refusing to die. And I'm not gonna lie, 47k, nearly 48k is not a bad score against Attuma without an ideal counter. We can take him down very, very fast, even though we have class disadvantage. And saving 85% of your health, I'm really pretty impressed. Remember that not everyone is going to have a rank 5 Attumas, and if you're punching down, this fight can go even better. I've had a 45-second fight where I've kept nearly 90% of my health against a rank 4. Titania is a weirdly good Attuma counter. This next one I think is actually my favourite of them all. This is the first one that I came up against and figured out Titania is really good for, and it's Kingpin. So the reason Titania is so good for Kingpin is that Titania is really unique in the science class. She doesn't need her debuffs to stick to access her damage and the Haymaker utility. You do need them to stick to be able to use her weaknesses or her special 3 rotation, but she doesn't need them to stick just to do damage or have Haymakers, and that is huge. It means that whatever a skill champion does, or whatever a champion does, to shrug off those debuffs after you've applied them, it doesn't matter. You've already got those Furies, and you've already got that Haymaker a little bit closer to coming back. And Kingpin is especially helpful for Titania in this one, because anytime he shrugs one of your debuffs, he turns it into a rage, and that counts as an extra debuff. So if you hit him with a light attack and apply a suppression, that's one, and then if he shrugs that into a rage, that's another one. So you've just got 2 Furies from one hit. And then if you remember Titania's Sig, where she can double debuffs, you could apply 2 suppressions, he could shrug 1, so you've just got 3 Furies from one hit. It means that she's hitting harder in this match than a lot of Mystic matches with class advantage. In this fight, you'll notice I get my Haymaker back super quickly as well. That's another benefit of all these rage debuffs. And I'm using my Haymaker to try and either tank some of his hits or wait out the duration of the Unstoppable. Here I go for my special 2, which applies a ton of weaknesses, which are shrugged into rages, so we get a few more Furies. And he's just going down really, really fast. I've got my Haymaker here, so we just tank through that heavy, and then all we need to do is throw another special 2, and this fight's over in 60 seconds. Titania has just nuked it. And obviously Infamous is impressed. So this last fight that we're going to go into is a Nick Fury. I have actually shown this fight on my channel before in a previous meta, and it turns out that the previous meta is a lot better for Titania versus Nick. Unfortunately, this one really slows her down. It slows her tempo, you can't keep as many Furies up, and when you're looking at Nick's tactical charges, making sure he doesn't go unblockable, it's really irritating, and it means we get a much slower fight here. So if you want to see a much faster example of this fight, when a meta doesn't slow it down quite so much, I'm going to leave a link in this video and in the description, so just check out that. As for why Titania seems to do so well against skill champions, it's to do with how class advantage and class disadvantage work. So the class disadvantage just takes away a certain amount of her base attack. I believe it's around 15 to 20%, but as soon as you get a few of her Furies, it's already making up the difference. The class disadvantage doesn't affect those Furies. It doesn't make them 20% weaker or whatever. It just takes away some of her base attack, and then she more than makes up for it when you get some of the Furies. So it doesn't feel like she has class disadvantage at all. Obviously, the opponent does have class advantage, so they will hit harder and be a little bit more punishing. But with the Haymakers, and if you're in a different fight and you didn't want to use the special 3, if you're applying weaknesses and they stick, depending on the champion, you can really just work around that as well. Titania is just incredible. And just in case you don't know what to do in a Nick Fury fight with Titania, the aim is to hold on to your special 3, wait for him to go into second life, and then throw it as soon as he goes into that second life. That'll apply a ton of debuffs and reverse his healing. So at this point, we're just waiting for this Unstoppable to go away, and then we want to do a few combos and wait until we see that Purification, see the LMD, and now we throw special 3. Once we come out of this, he's just going to reverse back down, and once his invulnerability period is over, he just falls down. And here I'm just going to show a quick screenshot of my other fight with Titania versus Nick Fury. I did it in about 60 seconds there. But in any case, thanks very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.